Hey, hey, live on one platform, and now live in both. Hello and welcome. It is my mother's birthday. It's February 2nd, and I'm here with you. My name is Rachel for another musing and contribution. And this one, I guess, is a response to something that came up for me last night. I was speaking with a friend, and I really got to see some of the capacities that we have as human beings, having this physical experience in the world, and the capacities that we have, the awareness that we have, the sensitivity that we have to everything that's going on around us. But we don't realize our capacities, and so we tend to take a lot of what we're able to perceive, a lot of what is around us, and we're using our awareness really of it against us. How so? So I was speaking with a person who has told me they're really, really struggling. They're not enjoying living very much. They're not enjoying being around. They don't see the value of themselves. They don't see the value in pretty much anything. And everything just seems dark and just seems dismal and just seems frustrating. Now, as she was telling me these experiences that she was having, I could very easily relate it to experiences that I've been having, that I've had throughout my life. As a human being on this planet, when we show up, people teach us, sure, how to stand up, how to walk, how to eat with a fork, how to do all sorts of things, how to read, how to write. They don't teach us how aware we are. They don't teach us that our body, our awareness, amazing cat whisker body is giving us so much information about the outside world. Now, I know I've spoken about this before, but I just got that intensity of awareness of everything that's around us when we're not willing to recognize it, when we're not willing to actually go, holy shit, I am so much more aware than I've ever given myself credit for. I am so much more aware of the frustration and the angst and the sadness and whatever else is going on in the world. Of course, especially if I indulge in thinking that it's mine, I resonate with it more. I tend to bring it more into my universe. And sometimes, it's a habit. Some of us grow up around people who rage more or who are more depressed or who, whatever the case is. And so we're kind of tuned in to that vibe, to that frequency. And so then we think that that's us. And that word, think is extremely important because we are not those thoughts, but we are living the experience of those thoughts. In other words, the points of view that we have about everything, about the world, about our perspective of it. We're coloring our experience. We're the ones that are literally painting the masterpiece of our lives, and we're doing it via the way we are interpreting anything and everything that's coming through our awareness. So, first of all, we think that it's us, but it isn't. There's a space between what's out there and what's in here. When I happen to be in a low mood, personally, when I happen to have my head up my ass would probably be a really good way of putting it. But when my head is so far up my ass that I can't see anything beyond it, it's kind of tight, stuffy, and stinky in here. I don't get to see other possibilities. Ever been there? So when I'm in that kind of a position, that's the most challenging. And definitely, if somebody would come up to me and go, why don't you just pot and puck all that. Yeah, I'd want to punch him. In all honesty, I'd want to punch him when they do that. And I get it. I'd want to punch me whenever I may say that to anybody else. And I really hope I don't. And I'm sure that sometimes I do. The thing is, when we're down, our mood is so low, we're like in the basement. We can't see the sunshine. We can't see the breeze and the trees and the flowers and everything that's available all around us. We don't see that because all we see is dark. All we see is dismal. But there is a truth in the world, and that is that our experience of the world comes from the way we're looking at it. It's not to make us feel guilty in any way, shape, or form, but it's to give us that hope that as we are looking at it now, it does not have to remain that way. We're literally one choice, one insight, one snap away from having a change. And the change may be just natural. Something that I learned from my daughter when she was younger, she chose to go take a nap. When she was in a down kind of mode, she would go take a nap. She would feel better when she woke up, and suddenly whatever seemed so dark and gloomy before didn't look like it afterwards. With me, if I would listen to an Access Consciousness class replay or a podcast replay from Simone Millicis or from Gary or Dain or whatever, I'd listen to that and my heart would open up and I'd already be in a different space, a different energy afterwards. I'd be able to see that the world isn't the way that I had been repeating the story in my head, what got me down in those dumps to begin with. And you don't have to go from everything sucks to, oh my goodness, that was my my early adulthood was very much like that, either down in the dumps or woo. And I was diagnosed as bipolar. Hello, butterfly. And I was diagnosed as bipolar. But the thing is that it's not about, oh, you've got to force yourself to be, you've got to think positive, you've got to, no, that's so much efforting and so much force. It's about giving yourself the space, the presence, the space, the ease to say, this is not permanent. This may be how I feel right now, but it does not have to be what goes on for me later. I can take a deep breath. I can be present. I can relax. I can maybe put on a song and dance, and just even that little change breaks a pattern, breaks the downward spiral, stops it, and allows for something else to be different. That vulnerability of being willing to be present. You know, this fucking sucks. This just sucks. And I know this isn't the only thing that's available for me. Just there lives hope, lives a possibility where we could choose something different. So anywhere we've made ourselves victims to what was and taken away our power, our potency, the possibilities that we have to choose something different, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and puck, all nine shorts, boys, povets, and beyonds. And that's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. You can go to theclearingstatement.com to get more information on how that works. But though that in and of itself, just that is the willingness to make a change. Just that, okay, whatever this is, and I don't know what this is, but it is yuck, it is stuck, it is stinky, it is horrible. I dislike this. I dislike what's going on in my life. And that's even before I say, oh my goodness, I have capacities and I'm aware of so much that's going on in the world. I'm aware of so much that's going on out here. I'm not even talking about that. As soon as we recognize how aware we are, we've got a space to be able to change things. But even without me saying that I'm so aware, or recognizing that I'm picking up on thousands of people, most likely, that are all around feeling their own feelings and feeling other people's feelings, and then exponentializing it, making it louder and broader and all of that, and I'm picking up on it. Even if we don't go into that conversation, just knowing this doesn't work for me anymore. Rather than fighting it, I'm going to say, you know what? Whatever I've chosen up to now brought me to right here. And from here, I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to get present. I'm going to choose to just be and to be vulnerable with myself and to honor myself and to say, well, this too shall pass, because everything does. It's like when we're in a low mood, it's like being in a, bad weather, if you'd like to call it that, in a storm, a maelstrom of, just the howling winds and blowing air and rain and thunder and lightning and whatnot. But we don't always live in a storm, and the storms do pass, and the sun comes out, and it shines, and it warms, and something different is possible and available. Well, it's the same thing in any situation in our life. And my two favorite go-tos, well, three, if you count breathing, my favorite go-tos are to just get present with it. Four, I'd lower barriers. I'd literally ask to just be present and undefended around whatever is, and just go, wow, it's kind of intense. It's kind of a lot intense. I'm perceiving a lot. I don't have to be that. I don't have to mix myself up with it. I can just see that it's there. I can lower my barriers. I can be present. And I can say, wow, interesting point of view that I have this point of view, that this is unchangeable. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view that everything sucks. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view that there is no hope out there. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view that everything is awful and everything is terrible. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view. Of course, you can put in whatever you like, but this interesting point of view that I have this point of view changes things. Just changes things, because as soon as we notice that our point of view is shiftable, is changeable, everything in our reality begins to shift and change as we change that point of view, as we turn it, as we change the polarity on it. Oh, that's interesting, and oh, that's interesting, and oh, that's interesting, and oh, that's interesting. I'm not that. It is an interesting point of view. Interesting point of view, I've made it so real and true. It's just an interesting point of view. It is not me. It is an interesting point of view. And the other one, like I'd said before, the clearing statement, Hawk and Pod for short, if you like, or you can say the whole thing, right and wrong, good and bad, Pod and Pock, all nine shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. And we can say whatever this is that I can't even label or point out or identify or even recognize where it's coming from. Whatever it is, I destroy and uncreate everything that is, and everywhere I've chosen that in my life. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. And you can say it again. Just like you don't take a shower only once in your lifetime. Same kind of thing. Wow, whatever this is, whatever is causing this, whatever is so loud in me that's allowing me to literally pull all those vibes out of everywhere to scream loudly in my world, pod and pock, destroy and uncreate. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povats, and beyonds. Pod and pock, whatever this is. Pod and pock everywhere I'm limiting myself. Pod and pock everywhere things seem dark and dismal. Pod and pock everywhere I'm judging myself for being in this contraction right now, like head up the ass kind of thing, rather than the space that I truly be. Pod and pock. There's a gift in this. There is a gift of awareness, of possibilities, in every experience, including in this moment that's kind of dark and kind of dismal. I'm not that moment. So I may have a bad day or a bad hour or a bad week or a bad couple of months. But there may be a great gift in that thing that we've defined as bad in the moment when we get our heads out of the ass or out of the basement and we begin to kind of rise instead of being in a low mood to be in a higher and higher and higher mood. Almost like, I don't know, taking an elevator or flying upon the wings of a bird or something. And we get a different perspective from up here than we do when we're down in the dumps. And so when we're in this more expansive space, then we can begin to see more of what we could be grateful for and what is possible and what is available. The thing is, it's available for us all the time. And all we have to do is just notice, which is kind of hard when, I don't know if you ever see like a toddler, when they get mad. Oh my gosh, when they get mad. I saw this with a friend's grandson. I spent some time with him and I could see when he's invested in being pissed off and upset, it doesn't matter what you're saying to him or what you're offering to him or what you're enticing him with or anything. No, he is so invested on being pissed off at that moment that he scrunches his little eyes and he puts his arms up by and just like, and just screams and shouts and gets upset. Well, that's when we're vested in that upset. We're vested in having to have that point of view or that feeling or that whatever is going on. And the thing is, most of us try to run away from our awareness or try to run away from anything that's intense. One of our capacities is our ability to be present, not to be run over by those things, but to know it's here for me as a gift in one way or another. And I get to choose. I'm the boss in my life. I'm the dominant energy in my life, right? And I don't have to just be swayed by everything that goes on around me, even if it's so uber loud, even if it could be so upsetting. I get to make a choice that's different. So like I said, for me, one of the most amazing tools is that interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Of course, I usually kind of do it back to back with lowering my barriers and being present. And then when I've interesting point of viewed myself, quite a few times, more often than not, I'll just go, whatever this is, whatever's left over here, whatever is this habitual pattern of picking this shit up, pod and poc. Point of creation and point of destruction is what it stands for. And like I said, go to theclearingstatement.com for a really nice explanation of the whole clearing statement. But I don't have to keep destroying myself to uphold that point of view. Or like my friend's grandson to scrunch and go into the mat. I have another choice. I don't have to keep fighting. I can actually relax into being myself. And it is such a gift to be able to do that, especially in such a loud, I'd say very polarized world where sadness and upset and he who screams loudest seems to carry more favor in this social media world than does just being present and quiet and tuned in and willing to be aware. So it was a really interesting conversation for me last night with this friend. And I so wish that I could run up to her and hug her and run her bars and just tell her. Well, I did tell her, but I couldn't run up to her and hug her and run her bars. But I wish that I could. One of my greatest wishes is that there could be more of this available for everyone around the world, where we realize we're not alone. We're not at the effect of everything around us. And I wish that somebody had told me that when I was diagnosed as everything that I was diagnosed as, and medicated, and all the years that I'd spent depressed and frustrated at myself and pointing fingers out that it's other people's fault why I may be sad or why I may be upset, or that I'm perfectly justified to, you know, to be mad at people or to be mad at myself. But what a waste of energy. What a waste of creativity. What a waste of ease, really. So I wonder, hope this musing contributed. I do hope to meet you guys in person one day and run bars or hug at least. I'm I'm very excited. Actually, speaking with someone today about the Global Foundation class replay, that not replay, live stream that we are doing in El Lugar. My friend Taz Friedrich and I are hosting a party of possibilities, and I'm excited because we get to take an overnighter, yeah, because the class is happening live in Czechoslovakia. I'm not going over there, but I am going to Costa Rica to be with horses and the land and the pool and the grass and the trees and the birds and the sloths and everything else that's out there willing to contribute sense of space and ease and beauty. And of course, also taking the class live stream together with a whole bunch of other happy people and trading bars and trading body processes and just being present with one another. What a gift it is to be able to be that relaxed energy and space and choice in the world, because we all got it and we all be it. We are wellness walking, but you would have never, ever convinced me of that even 10 years ago. Definitely not beforehand when I was being medicated for all sorts of stuff. But if we would be willing to have a little more ease with us, what else would be possible? Now I've got three Zooms happening simultaneously. So I'm going to say goodbye and hop on my Zoom. And thank you. Thank you. And Shabbat Shalom. And it has been 118 days since the hostages were taken. And what would it take for people to begin to respect and appreciate and see the humanity in one another and bring them home? So thank you and take care. Bye, everybody.